Yeah, you see that? I mean, come on. Yeah, there's something about this one. There's 21 million right there. If it's got zombies, I'm going to play it. I don't know what the devs are doing. This is the best game mode right here. The Countdown is the new game mode, coded by the only developer capable of shooting himself in the jugular with a tranq dart, while the rest of the devs were deep in hibernation.
Yes!
It was recently tested into PTS. While that was happening, the best game mode for the Division 2 is already here, the Reanimated Global Event. It only runs 1 week per season.
So 7 days to this very hour?
But what if it's sort of stuck around? In case you've been off planet for the past week, activating this game mode in your season menu turns Washington, D.C. into Zombieland. Rule number 1 for surviving Division 2 Zombieland: cardio. Speed and agility are vital to your survivability, so get a high power build and learn how to use it. Which leads me to my second rule: always go for the head, or they'll zombie up and shoot you in the rear. Rule number 3, if you're not sure, always double tap. I gotta say, there's no better time to go Dirty Harry than when this event is activated.
There are 3 things I love in this world: Kylie Minogue,
headshotting zombies,
And twins!
I spent more time playing the Division 2 during this event than I did in the previous 30 days combined. We're all hoping for more replayable content. Part of what makes content replayable is being able to discover and use new builds for that content. Look at the raids. Some love them, most don't play them. It might be because they don't have an 8-man squad, but Tux's Discord fixes that. Agents go there to hook up with Tux clans on the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox platforms. Still, it's not uncommon to stop doing raids after one receives all their raid exclusive exotics. Is that because build diversity in raids is low? Usually there are prescribed builds, mostly for good reasons. Maybe players stop raiding because loot doesn't drop. You only get a handful of things and a checkpoint is cleared. And this is a looter shooter. We can't unmarry loot and builds from any content in the Division 2. Does the new game mode Countdown support that? I think yes. It does need work, but that's part of why it has potential. Some might not raid on the regular because raids don't have very many variables. Spawns are always the same, bosses are always the same, and the builds are always the same. The only thing that really changes is the team. It's the team dynamics that brings the challenges to the raids. But if you're always playing with the same hombres, it's Groundhog Day every day.
Phil? Hey, Phil? Phil?
The PTS preview didn't show much tactical gameplay. Most were running around like headless chickens.
Look at that boy.
If they make the game mode more difficult, coordination will be demanded from the squads. Not by adding obstacles like EMPs or SHD crates. And difficulty from team coordinated tasks will just make it another raid. The difficulty needs to come from the NPCs, both AI and quantity. There's nothing more challenging in the Division 2 than the open world. Sure, heroic NPCs aren't as aggressive as legendary, but the dynamic nature of the open world creates some awesome fights. Most of you consider yourself solo players, even if you group up, and heroic is played more than anything else, and a vast majority spend most of their time playing open world content. New game modes must target this player base, because if they don't adopt it, who will? This brings me full circle back to the Reanimated event. Whether you like this particular event or not is not really important. It's that this game mode extends the playability of the content where most players spend their time. This also happens to be the place that this looter shooter drops the most loot. The expansion of the primary map is very much needed. That aside, is it possible for the devs to develop a permanent game mode like Reanimated to extend across the whole map, control points, missions and all? And if it is possible, what kind of game mode do you think would increase the game's overall playability? Would the strongest player base in the Division 2 be willing to adopt this? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. This build breaks the Foundry Bulwark set and challenges everything you think you know about makeshift repairs. It has fast time to kill and fast heals. Tuxedo out.